Hi, my name is Shatar. I want to showcase a build I've made in Hardcore Precia. It's the Herald of Ash build, meaning it's trying to deal a majority of its damage with Herald of Ash. It's a deceptively powerful ability and has known a bit of fame from Wormblaster the 4th. But that was 8 years ago, video linked in the description. Herald of Ash applies a burning dot to surrounding enemies, based on the overkill damage dealt to an enemy. In the case where we one-shot an enemy, the overkill is equal to the total damage minus the health of the enemy. Hoa will then apply a burn based on 30% of that overkill damage. Hoa is only affected by supports and stats that specify damage over time or burning. PB has recently got an update to fix some bugs surrounding Hoa, but it still incorrectly lists some supports as working, such as Elemental Focus, which from some fast testing seems to not work in-game. This is so that it does not double dip with increases to fire damage, etc. There is still some stats that affect both the overkill and the dot damage, mainly increased damage taken and resistant modifiers such as curse and exposure. We use both curse and exposure in this build to great effect. One can also use Legacy of Fury boots to inflict scorch, but gear pressure becomes too high in my case, and there is a bug I will talk about later that makes getting too much damage unviable. Before I talk about the overkill damage skill, I will talk about what we are overkilling. It's worms, from the famous jar. But luckily our character is not drinking it. We use the belt Mother's Embrace. This makes it so that when we summon minions, they will be using our flasks, which is a full set of worm jars. This fixes 3 problems, but causes 1. It makes us able to spawn enemies anywhere with summoned skeletons, and it makes each summon use 10 charges if you get enough reduced charges used on the belt, 38% with a 16 charge jar. It also increases the consistency of hitting an enemy with Hoa greatly. Hoa has a radius of 1 meter. It is the smallest AoE of any skill, so spawning 20 worms in one cast makes it unlikely the Hoa will miss, if the player aims to summon skeleton cast well enough. The problem is that we cannot use other flasks. It's a small price to pay for greatness though. There's multiple good contenders for the skill that we can use to overkill, and I implore others to test other skills if you think you can improve this concept. My choice is Discharge, as we have Ancestral Commander in Precia. This ascendancy gives us +3 endurance charges, which is a lot of damage and defense. It also provides immunity to slows and some more defense for good measure. Discharge is decently hard to make work though, as it needs a good way to generate charges, and as we are on hardcore, we also want to make sure that we never have downtime of our endurance charges. We solve this by using endurance charge on kill from Red Dream. This jewel gives us endurance charge on kill equal to the amount of allocated fire resistance in the radius. With tattoos, we're able to get this up to 84% chance to get endurance charge on kill. If we double check this with a cumulative binomial distribution, we see that we have a 99.7% chance to get 12 endurance charges from 20 kills, which is how many worms we spawn with one cast of summoned skeletons. Discharge removes charges the same instant it deals damage, so the charges are instantly restored and there's no downtime of our defensive layer. I sadly cannot recommend doing this in hardcore though. I've almost died several times to remove charges on hit, which is a random mod that appears in any content on both rares and magic monsters. For builds using endurance charge for defense only, it might not be as noticeable, but when you are in a pack of monsters and suddenly cannot use your main ability, this is a fast track to a casket. I made a feedback thread about this and did receive some pushback. I'd be interested in hearing your take on it. I think it's out of line, and there is not enough reasonable tools to mitigate it. I'd be okay if it was just a map mod, or if only rares could get it, or if it only removed 1 charge instead of all, or there was some investment on trees such as charge mastery to prevent it. Until then, you will always have moments where you need to log out or die in-game. So we spawn worms, we curse and exposure, then discharge. I wish it was as simple as that. As I hinted above, there might be an overflow bug with Hoa that is different from the dot cap. I've noticed that when I socket in Conk Effect and turn on RF, Hoa will put the visual effect of the burn on the enemy, but they will not be taking damage. My testing did not turn up any other explanation other than that the damage overflows and deals 0 or negative damage. Calculating the damage the Hoa should do in PoB indicates the build should be dealing 15 mil, which is still half the way up to the dot cap, which is why it might not be the same issue. It's a conundrum for sure, and I have reported it as a bug. If we deal damage, it's pretty great though. I hope you're convinced after seeing the following boss fights. The current character PoB will be immortalized in the description. Sorry that I cannot produce a full leveling guide, but if you want to level this build, I recommend a General's Cry Tectonic Slam or Cataclysm until we have enough of the gear to transition. If anybody has any questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comments or catch me live at twitch.tv/shatar_. I'm trying to get my name without the underscore, but my 14-year-old self lost the password, so I blame them. Bye! Oh! I thought I could have gotten down to the tides first.
Behold my collection.
My collection.
I know what I want. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. A cascade of pain. Why?
Resistance will be punished. Time contorts. Scurry, scurry.
My irritation is growing. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. Do what I say. A cascade of pain. That's how.
Stop resisting. Reality bends. Punishment inescapable.
Arrogant toy.
Thank you for just teleporting next to me there, Maven. Pretty nice of you.
A cascade of pain. This will not be an escape.
The hard part.
Scurry, scurry.
That's a pretty hard pattern.
A cascade of pain. Take this.
Oop.
I require aid.
I got it! That's a bad ending there though. I got hit by the beam and then decided to log out. I got hit by the beam and the big attack. Monka. That wasn't really Monka. So, I'm 100% okay. Sana! Hi. What's that? He almost did already. Yep. Be honest. Did. Did. I sent them behind. Thank you very much. Let's do this, right? What will he be on you like? Alright.
So be it. You've chosen the side of God. This is my world, and you try order.
Bam, 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 bam. You can calculate exactly how much damage he has inside there. What's wrong with the color?
Behold the things of your own making.
Father?
Let me help you.
The horror must be stopped. Obstacles destroyed.
Come to me. We need to close.
I missed. Slim.
Gaze into the abyss. Imperfect.
Yeah. Right. What's nicer now? She does bubble you in the bullet phase, so you dodge it like you were. That's happens. Really? Oh, you know? You think behind you gets for too long? Yeah.
They lied to you.
But she recovers over time, so sometimes she comes back. Go ahead.
Come to me.
Usually it means you're kind of fucked. Always protect Sana? Yep. Very important. Wow. Who raids me? Took a ball to the face. A good thing I can tank them. Wow. Patla, hi! Raido! She got at the end here. Just killed Mr.